Rain fell softly that morning over Ridgeway High, the kind of gentle drizzle that made everything feel gray and uncertain. A black sedan pulled up in front of the tall brick building, and a girl stepped out slowly, clutching a small backpack against her chest. Her name was Lena Monroe, 17 years old, pale as moonlight, with chestnut brown hair that framed her nervous face. She had just transferred here, new school, new city, a new chance to start over. But life had a cruel sense of humor. Inside the car, her mother, Dr. Caroline Monroe, watched her daughter with worried eyes. "You'll be fine, sweetheart," she said softly. "Just keep your head high." Lena smiled weakly. "I will, Mom. Love you more," Caroline whispered, watching her daughter vanish into the sea of students. The corridors of Ridgeway were loud, laughter, chatter, sneakers squeaking across the polished floor. Lena kept her eyes low, her fingers gripping the straps of her bag. She moved like someone afraid of taking up too much space. She wasn't shy, she was recovering. A year ago, her father had died in a car accident, and Lena had fallen into silence. This was supposed to be a new beginning, but beginnings can turn into nightmares very fast. In the second period class, 3 girls noticed her immediately. Tiffany Blake, the queen bee Haley Jones, her loud second in command, and Mira Kent, the sarcastic shadow who always followed them. They were the kind of girls who smiled while destroying lives. Tiffany flipped her blonde hair, her cold blue eyes scanning Lena like prey. "Who's that?" she whispered. "Transfer student," Haley said. "She looks like she'd cry if someone sneezed at her." Tiffany smirked. "Then let's test that theory." By lunch, the whispers had started. "Did you see the new girl? She's weird. I heard she used to be in therapy. She doesn't talk to anyone." Lena sat alone at a table by the window, picking at her sandwich. She pretended not to hear, but her chest tightened with every giggle and glance in her direction. The cafeteria lights felt too bright, the room too loud. Then came the first accident. Tiffany walked by and, accidentally, spilled her soda all over Lena's tray. The red liquid splashed across her white shirt, soaking it instantly. "Oh my God!" Tiffany gasped in mock shock. "I'm so sorry. It was an accident." The laughter that followed wasn't quiet. Lena stood there, trembling, trying to hold herself together as everyone stared. "Don't just stand there," Haley sneered. "Go clean yourself up, loser." Lena walked out of the cafeteria without saying a word. In the bathroom, she locked herself inside a stall, holding her wet shirt and breathing hard. She whispered to herself, it's okay, it's just one day." But her hands shook. Somewhere deep inside, something old, something buried, began to stir. That night, at home, her mother noticed the silence. "Rough first day?" Caroline asked gently. Lena forced a smile. "It's fine, just kids being kids." Caroline frowned. "You sure?" "Yeah, I can handle it." But she couldn't. Not yet. The next few days became worse. The girls cornered her in hallways, whispered about her father's death, mocked her clothes, her voice, her therapy look. Once, they even stole her sketchbook, her most personal thing, and read it out loud during lunch. "Sometimes I wish I could disappear," Tiffany mocked in a fake trembling voice. "Ow, poor little ghost girl wants to vanish." The cafeteria roared with laughter. Lena's eyes filled with tears. She ran. She didn't come to school the next day. When she returned, her eyes were darker, tired, sleepless. She told herself to survive until graduation, but fate had other plans. It happened on a Friday. After the final bell, Lena stayed behind to collect her things. The classroom was empty, except for Tiffany and her 2 friends. They stood by the door, blocking the exit. "Hey, ghost girl," Tiffany said, smiling. "You've been avoiding us." Lena's heart raced. "Please move." "Or what?" Haley taunted. "You'll cry again." Lena turned away, trying to leave, but Haley shoved her shoulder. "Stop," Lena said quietly. "What? You gonna hit me?" Haley laughed. "Come on, do it." Then Tiffany stepped forward and grabbed Lena's backpack, yanking it off her shoulder. "What's this?" "Your little comfort bag." She dumped it on the floor, spilling books and sketches. "Please stop." "Ah, listen to her," Mira mocked. "She's begging." Lena's breathing quickened. She took a step back and hit the wall. "Let's teach her not to ignore us," Tiffany whispered, eyes glinting with cruelty. Haley's hand struck first, a slap that echoed, then another. Lena cried out. Tiffany pushed her harder, and her head struck the corner of a desk. She fell to the floor, dizzy, the world spinning. The girls laughed, until they realized Lena wasn't moving. "Lena," Tiffany said nervously. "Hey, get up." No answer. Blood trickled from the back of her head. Haley's voice trembled. "Oh my God."
"What did you do? Shut up!"
Tiffany hissed. "We didn't do anything. She just fell. We'll say she slipped." They ran. The janitor found Lena minutes later, unconscious, bleeding, motionless. The call came at 4:12 p.m. Caroline Monroe was in her clinic when the nurse burst into her office. "Doctor, it's your daughter. She's in the hospital." Caroline's world stopped. When she reached the ER, Lena lay surrounded by machines, her face pale, her eyes closed. Tubes, wires, monitors, and silence. The doctor's words were a blur. "Severe concussion, possible brain swelling. She's in a coma." Caroline's knees buckled. She reached for her daughter's hand and whispered, "I'm here, baby, I'm here." Tears rolled down her face, not quiet ones, but the kind that come from the soul. She sat there all night, holding Lena's hand, remembering the promises she had made, to protect her, to keep her safe. By morning, grief had hardened into something else, something sharper. Caroline stood by the window, staring at the gray sky. Her reflection looked nothing like a mother anymore. It looked like a storm waiting to break. "They hurt my daughter," she whispered. "They broke her. Now I'll break them." She turned toward the door, calm but burning inside. The hospital gown rustled as she leaned over Lena's still body. "I'm sorry I wasn't there," she whispered, "but I promise you this. Every person who let this happen will pay." Her voice was no longer trembling. It was steel. And as she walked out of the hospital that morning, the air seemed to shift, as if the world itself knew something unstoppable was coming.